Get in.
What's up?
You ready to do this?
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Secret Sauce podcast. This is a little different. We are taking the show on the road with season 2. We're going to mix in, I just had this wild hair thought that how fun would it be to mix in a little bit of karaoke, carpool karaoke style, or if comedians in cars getting coffee, take the show on the road. So the Secret Sauce Roadshow, where we can pick up successful entrepreneur, maybe a realtor, maybe a lender, maybe just a super successful person, maybe stop by the old folk home and pick up somebody that has a lot more experience than us, but just learning about what has made people super successful and what their secret sauce is. So we're taking it on the road.
I didn't know you were doing old folks home.
I didn't either. I threw that. It just came to me.
Okay.
I'm not saying we're definitely going to,
Okay.
but I think it would be fun.
Okay.
I get to drive your car too. This is fun. So
It's fun.
let's go. Is that what I do?
You said you knew how.
You need to add engine oil, it says. Okay,
Nope.
Thanks. All right, so I want to get started. First and foremost, I think energy is super, super important. So I asked you in advance and you queued it up for me. What is if you had a pump up song or something that was going to put you in a good headspace right off the bat, what would that song be?
Yeah, so I listen to this song a lot in the mornings when I need to get ready and get going, and it's Made for This by Carrollton.
Play it. Let's go. I've never heard this song. I've never heard of this band before.
You never heard this song?
I've never. This is country. You're country. I'm less country.
This is not country.
This is not country. What is this? Rock and roll?
I don't know. I just like the song.
Okay.
But I do love country.
Do you would you be jamming out singing this in the car if you weren't with me right now?
Yep.
Just go for it. I want to hear it.
Oh, I'm not singing. Everybody would turn it off and not listen any further.
All right. So tell me, what is it about that song?
Well, first of all, you told me to sing, and I'm telling you, everybody would turn it off because my biggest thing that I remember in school is I tried out for a choir every year, and I never made it. I still hold that. So remember that teacher, and my name was never on the list, so you don't want me singing.
Well, that was a long time ago. You could take voice lessons,
Nope.
maybe you should put that on your goal list. We just talked about goals.
It's not my thing.
All right. Well, here's what I want to do with this. Here's what I was thinking that we could do with this on the road Secret Sauce Roadshow edition. And who better to start it off? Because we've never talked about what makes you and your secret sauce. We've talked about it with other people, and we've given tips and tactics. But why don't we start with an interview of you?
Okay.
So I'm going to pick some questions, rapid fire. If you don't like one, tell me to skip. But I think I know you'll like these questions.
All
so what's a habit that you do every single day, something you swear by that would throw you off if you didn't do it?
Well, it wouldn't throw me off because I travel and stuff, but every single morning, I'm going to give you two things, but every single morning I make my bed. We started this years and years and years ago when we read that book, Make Your Bed.
Okay.
Yeah, and we, way back then with my team, we all thought we would do it together, and probably for 30, 60 days, every morning, everybody would take a picture of their made bed, and sometimes that's not feasible when people have spouses that sleep in longer than them or whatever. But if I have and I do, Sean's always up, I make my bed every single morning. And it's just, there's proof behind it. There's all this scientific stuff. But once if you start accomplishing things early on, you're building your brain to realize I can do a lot of things. So I will make my bed every single morning nicely, perfectly.
I'm going to possibly try that. I've never made my bed unless my parents made me as a kid. So
yeah, every day.
I love it. All right. Anything else, or you want to stick with that one? You said 2. You had 2, right?
Oh, well, so I drink a V8 in the morning. My little V8. I don't do coffee. It's pomegranate blueberry. It's fantastic.
But there is still tomato juice in it, right?
No, there's no tomato in that one.
It's V8 with no tomato juice?
It's so good. I even take them with me anywhere I travel, even Guatemala. I will not miss my V8 in the morning.
What does it do for you? Why would you do that?
I don't know. I think it's mainly because I'm such a systems or routine person, but I love the taste. I've tried coffee. It's not for me.
Do you think just in and of itself, being a creature of habit is part of your secret sauce?
Yeah. I enjoy the routines. I enjoy the doing the same thing. And I like to mix it up every once in a while for sure. But yes, for sure. Like I always sit in the same spot at church every Sunday.
Really?
Yep.
I think that if you were to poll a group of like 100 highly successful people that we would consider highly successful, that other people would, I bet the vast majority would also say that they're creatures of habit, that they have a dialed in routine. And that doesn't mean go steal their routine, but having a routine, I think, is just super important.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Absolutely. Question number 2, you ready?
I'm ready.
Who's somebody that you deeply, deeply admire? Other than me.
Other than you? Oh, yeah. Well, now I got to think
throw
about that. Yeah. Well, I have 2 on this too. Is this bad? I have 2 people for all these answers. Okay. I'll actually probably going to be Robin.
Robin Lavasser.
Robin Lavasser, yeah. She runs our entire sales division with our company that you and I work for. But why? And, you know, I met Robin years ago. I did not work for her. She actually coached me. But she taught me that I could be a really badass loan officer while still putting the things in my life in priority, which for me, I want to be a really great wife. I want to be a really great mom. And then I want to be a really good loan officer. And so how can you do that in that order? And Robin taught me, not only can I do it, but I can do it really well.
You're doing it really well. I mean, no doubt.
Well,
you inspire me.
When I say really well, I wasn't meaning it to sound like I'm great at it. What I'm meaning, moms have guilt for sure, especially working moms, like have guilt that they're not with their kids all the time. And there's always this piece of, am I making the wrong choices? Am I doing the wrong thing? And, you know, Robin taught me about being able to have your cake and eating it too, and how to make sure that you're not giving your whole life to your work and letting all these other things suffer. And when I feel like I'm good at it, I love my life. I love my family. I love my husband. I'm not trying to run away from that to work. Work comes third for me for sure, but I can love all of it. I don't have to choose.
Yeah, no doubt that you do your best work when you feel okay with the other aspects of your life. Like when something else is out of balance, if your things are not right with Sean or with your kids.
Yeah. Jacks everything else up.
Like you're not, unless you're just a complete narcissist, right? Like you're not generally going to do your best work.
Yep.
Because you've got all that other stuff that's going wrong in the back of your head. So I love that. What I think mom guilt is super, super real, and that's coming. I mean, I can't explain it because I'm not a mom, obviously, but I 100% agree that it exists, and I want to acknowledge that. And so, like, for everybody out there that may be dealing with that, is there one big takeaway that you would give if somebody's out there dealing with mom guilt for doing the hustle and grind and trying to make?
Yeah, I think the thing would just be being intentional. You know, I had to learn skill sets to be intentional when I was mom. And so, you know, right away, and someone told me, get a house cleaner, Lace. And I know some people can't afford that, so I don't want it to come across like that. But you don't need to be spending the time that you are home cleaning your house. Like, you need to be so intentional with your kids. And it was a great piece of advice for me, because it allowed me to focus more on them when I'm home. One of my mentors told me, when you get home, and this is mainly, especially when my kids were even younger, when you get home, leave the phone in the car for at least an hour. Like, don't let it go in with you, so that you are there and you are present with your family for at least an hour. And
yeah, you're basically just bringing your stress in with you.
Yeah, right? and checking it. And we just don't realize how much we look at it and we worry about did we miss something, who called. Like, I have meetings that last an hour, so if I'm not available for an hour, people know. I could be in a meeting, so it's not like the end of the world's going to happen. And that was a great piece of advice for me, and I did that for years and years and years.
That was a really good piece of advice. You said that some people can't afford to hire a house cleaner.
Yep.
I would say that there's a whole lot of people out there that probably can't afford not to when it comes to their kids.
I agree.
Being present.
I agree.
Being a great wife or a great husband or whatever it is. I would flip the script on that.
Sure.
And
That's
say,
a great
there's
perspective
things
too.
that are taking your time. Look at it like you can't afford not to, and figure out how to be able to pay for that.
How to do that so you can spend your time more intentional.
Totally.
Yep.
All right. You want to move on to my third and final question for
Yeah,
you?
let's do it.
All right. If you were to go back in time and have dinner with your former self or the younger version of Lacey, what advice would you give?
Well, first I would say everything's going to be okay. And
Is the younger version of Lacey going through some shit or what?
No.
She's not okay at the moment?
No, she's not. Not that she's not okay, but just like, I think that don't worry so much. Like, everything's going to be okay. And not that I wasn't a huge worrier. I'm just meaning that, hold on, let me finish. You got me sidetracked.
Sorry. Yeah.
Everything's going to be okay. And then I would also tell myself that, the grind is worth it. And what I mean by that is I spent a lot of years grinding and hustling and saving and putting away and not spending and not traveling and not partying when everybody else was. And now I can live like everybody else can. And those are cliches and they're memes and they're this and that. It's true. And so I would tell my younger self, don't quit. Keep it up, because it will be worth it. It will pay for itself.
Yeah. Do you feel like there was times in your life or in your journey that you definitely almost threw in the towel?
No.
Not on life, but just on this, on being as big, at doing things as well as you do them, because a lot of people, the vast majority of people are mediocre. That's average, right?
Sure.
And you're definitely not. And so do you ever start to see yourself being that, or have you always been pretty focused on living a big old life and building a big business?
I never in my life thought I would live a big life. I never in my life wanted to chase a big life. And probably more because when I was little, we grew up in a small town and we were very poor, but the only people that I knew that had a lot of money weren't good people, didn't do good things. And so I had never seen an example of people that were wealthy, that did good with it, and that wanted to help other people and share and mentor and all of that. I never was around it. And so no, I never wanted that. My family had a lot of love in it, but we were so low middle class, that's just what it was. So I didn't go into this industry thinking I'm going to kill this industry and crush it, and I'm going to be insanely I just never thought that. And in fact, it's probably the biggest piece that held me back for years, is because I had a dysfunction with money. I had to work through where that came from, and I thought it came from some of my parents, and I had some talks with my dad, and my dad's like, I don't know if that's not for me. I think you should go after it, Lacey. I think you should take it and go as far as you can with it, because I wrestled for a long time with, is this God's purpose for me and my plan, and what do I do with it? And he just kept guiding me, and now I love it more now than I ever have. Which is crazy after 23 years. I meet with borrowers. I have a first-time home buyer appointment, and I leave that, and I am just pumped.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love what I do, and I am so thankful that I can be in a job and serve people and help people and love it and love my team and love, not every day is great. We're in a very stressful job, but I love it. And so I would just tell them, but I grinded for a long time, Chad.
I know.
I didn't go on vacations for years. We saved, we put away. I didn't understand until I found some good mentors to help me with all of that and how to do that. And now I get to, and I love it and I enjoy it.
Would you do it any differently?
like there's some things I would change. Yeah, I think if there's like if you were asking me, I would surrender faster.
Yeah.
I would learn to implement faster. I've gotten really good at implementing now because I know how impactful fast implementation is. But I also think life's a journey, and there's reasons that we go on different paths to learn things. So as long as we learn things from the good and the bad, then it was there for a purpose.
I love it. Well, obviously you do you do a ton of business, one of the top loan officers in the country, like year in and year out. But I think it's super cool for people to see the other side and like, yes, how much you love it, not just love the money or the success. And you give back a ton, not just financially and the stuff that you do in Guatemala, right? The mission work, but you impact a lot of people. You impact me. I'll say that. You made a big impact on my life. And aside from me, though, you impact a lot of people, not just with this podcast, but you coach other loan officers. And I'm coaching somebody right now who, I ask, who's the best coach you've ever had? And it's like, hands down, Lacey. She changed my life. Aww. And I'm like, I feel like you need to know that. You're doing awesome. And I'm so glad to get to do this with you. And now we can take this thing on the road, and I'm super excited about it. So season 2 is going to include a lot of these. Hope you guys are up for it. Thanks for being my guinea pig.
Fun. Absolutely. This is cool. I like it.
All right. Until next time, it's been the Secret Sauce Roadshow. See ya.